welcome to my first ever YouTube video. So my name's Sarah and I've gone through a massive transformation over the last 12 months and yeah, I lost 10 stone in 50 weeks with Slimming World, and as a result of that I've been sharing my journey on Instagram, and a lot of you guys wanting me to share even more with you. I mean, why wouldn't you with that success? So I guess this is just me gonna introduce who I am, what my Slimming World journey is, and you know, this is all based on my experiences so far with Slimming World. But yeah, let's just get straight into it, shall we? Okay, so I guess the first place I want to start is really exploring why it is I decided to lose weight and my motivations for losing weight, and give you a bit of an idea of the timeline as well. So I have been doing Slimming World now for 12 months, I think it's something like 54 weeks, and within that time frame I've changed so much as a person, both obviously physically and also mentally. So my initial reasons for losing weight, like so many of us, is I just piled on the pounds, and I think I didn't even realise. I obviously knew that I was buying bigger sizes and didn't feel as physically fit as I used to, but it was just one of those things that, you know, gradually over time got worse. I got to such a low point where I was actually applying for jobs, and I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but going to a job interview when you have no confidence, hopefully you've not experienced this, when you've got no confidence, when you're so low and like your self-esteem just is non-existent, trying to sell yourself and put forward all your, obviously I've got the skills, I've got, you know, I'm doing a degree, so I know that I've got the qualifications on paper, but adding that personality and that bubbliness that I knew I had but weren't able to show, it killed me. It really killed me. And it was through the summer of 2017 that I was going through this process of applying for, you know, industrial placements. I've never worked in a working environment before. I'd obviously worked at McDonald's, which didn't help with my weight gain, but this was the first time for me that I was going to be, you know, being paid to do a job that was a highly skilled job at the end of the day. Yeah, so it was difficult. It was really difficult, and I didn't really open up to anyone about it, but my mum had commented on my weight, not in obviously a judgmental way, but just to express that she was concerned and more so worried about my health, because she didn't want to see me limit myself at such a young age, because I am 21, which I consider to be still quite young. So yeah, we'd obviously spoke about it, and we'd discussed how I'd had the motivation to lose weight. I've tried so many different diets. Like I did Protein World, protein shakes, meal supplements. I think I even did Weight Watchers, but this is like going back a lot of years. Not Weight Watchers where I went to the groups, but you know, like tried the meals and tried low carb. Absolutely everything. Nothing worked, nothing. And the main reason now, looking back, is I believe they didn't work because they weren't made for a lifestyle, whereas Slimming World is, I'll obviously get into that later, but Slimming World is orientated about it being, you know, longevity. It is there to be a lifestyle. So yeah, that's kind of like my reasons for losing weight. I was just in such a low place, like I can't even explain how low I was. But I'm not there anymore, so it's cool and it's good. But I totally sympathise with people. I get tons and tons of messages on Instagram and comments of people seeking advice and assistance because they're so fed up and they're so down, you know. It really does affect your life. Carrying excess weight definitely did for me. So why Slimming World, first of all? So I said to my mum how I seen a friend that I went to high school with. They weren't like a friend, but they were someone that I knew, and I followed them on Instagram. They put up their amazing weight loss, like, you know, the certificates you get with Slimming World, and I was like, oh, like this is cool, this could be something I'd enjoy. And then I told her how I was thinking about doing it online, because I was so lacking of confidence that I didn't want to go to a group. I just didn't want to leave the house to be in a social environment. I just wanted to stay in, be comfortable, but then I was just unhappy at the same time. So it was like I obviously needed to do something. So my mum was like, oh Sarah, I'm not sure that's a good idea. I don't think an online group for yourself would give you what you need. You need to be accountable. You need someone to be checking. You're not checking, but you know, going to a group, having that support, having someone weigh you physically. And I completely saw where she was coming from, completely agree. So leading up to, obviously, that had planted the seed in me about Slimming World, and I'd had family members who tried it in the past, like years before I'd even started to think about it. And I went online and I started to check, you know, they have a section, I'll link it down in the description below because I can't recommend it enough. It's so simple, it's so easy to use the website. But anyway, you go on the website and it's something like find a group near you. So I clicked on that, put in my postcode, and it was in an area. I just obviously went through the list, found one that was convenient, and then I gave there's telephone numbers, there's addresses, there's times. Obviously there's loads of different times, so just pick one that suits you. I went and phoned the lady who ran the group and introduced myself, and I think that was me, looking back, I actually think that was me like making myself accountable there and then, being like, okay, well I've told her that I'm gonna go, and that means that I can't let that person down, I'm gonna go. So that helped. I did that. But leading up to that weekend where I didn't, you know, look online to find a group, 2 weeks worth of completely eating. Like, we'd go to work, and because it was heading towards Christmas, it was dark by the time I was getting home. I was tired as it is. I was going to KFC. I think we went to KFC 4 nights in a row, something mad like that. And not just having a meal, but like having a meal, sides, drinks, desserts, and then heading home and just going to bed. And then the next day would be exactly the same. So 2 weeks worth of that, and that kind of like built up to that point where I was like, no, I need to do something. I'm so unhappy. I need to break this cycle. So then it came to Monday, which I had decided was the group that I was going to go to after work at 7 o'clock. Monday I felt like it was a good day because it was the start of a week. It could set me up for the whole week, and made sure that at my weekends I had to be good because I knew I was getting weighed the following day. So my first group, okay, so it was in an area that I'd never heard of before. I've been driving, like I've been driving for a year, but you just don't go to places of town, like places in the town that you live in that you don't necessarily need to go through. So that was kind of like a new experience itself. So I got there eventually, and it was at a school, and I was like, oh my god, like it's so quiet. Is it actually going to be like a running group here, or have I just got completely confused? Anyway, so I packed up, got out my car feeling nervous as anything, like so nervous. I ended up making my way through reception, and I thankfully saw a sign in the window for Slimming World, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in the right place, it's okay. And then I walked down the side, went in, and I was like, oh hi, like I'm new. Introduced myself. Obviously I probably looked very uncomfortable, and the lady who ran the group obviously went through the whole booklet with me. I'll get them so you can see what you get. Okay, so when you first join Slimming World as a member, you will get given a pack. So this was the pack that I got given over a year ago. Inside, this one's a new one, so this, because I've got to Target, you get a different booklet which they released not so long ago. But anyway, in here you'll get loads of booklets with information about healthy lifestyles, exercise, eating right, and then the main book is your Slimming World book. So this is where at the back, obviously you've got all your different sections in here talking about food, but at the back you've got your weigh-in sheets. So each week when you go to your group, there will be, the first thing to do is go and get your weighed in. So somebody will take you around, you do your pay, and then you go to the weigh-in stand. That was something that I was like nervous about someone else seeing my weight when really I was doing something about it. It's like going to the gym as a bigger person. I always felt like I shouldn't be there, like I shouldn't feel comfortable and that people were judging me. But at the end of the day, I was doing the right thing and I was getting fit and, you know, changing my life around, so who cares? Anyway, so I got over that very quickly. And as well as that, the amazing thing, I don't have my certificate booklet with me because we recently moved, blah blah blah, so it's all in storage. But what you do get along with your certificate is stickers, so it's a really nice way to celebrate. Obviously you get presented a certificate in class when you reach your amazing, not targets, but your amazing achievements. So yeah, I'll just open this up because I've got a few more inside. I also got Woman of the Year, which is so cool, and really nice of my group to nominate me, so thank you. Thank you if you're watching. So I sat down with my consultant and she went through everything in the book, which is essentially talking about your healthy extras, how the plan works essentially, you know, how much of things you can have, what you have to weigh, what you don't have to weigh, what you have to measure, what you don't have to measure. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my head was crazy. I felt so overwhelmed, like I didn't really understand what was going on, and that is completely normal. Like if you speak to other people who have only done like a week or a couple of weeks at Slimming World, you're like, I don't get it, like. So what I decided to do was go home, properly read the plan, properly get my head around it, and take that time, because obviously with the consultant in that meeting, I think it's about 30 minutes that you get really to digest so much information. So go home, do your homework, read your books, and that's the only way that obviously you're going to start successfully as well. After that group that evening, I went to do my shopping and obviously got loads of healthy things in and felt really inspired and really motivated. Anyway, after the initial meeting of obviously introducing Slimming World and getting me introduced to the plan, it was then time to have image therapy. Now, image therapy is essentially a section where you can express your feelings, how you felt like your week had gone. It's also a chance to plan for the week ahead as well, and that's a really nice way to speak to your consultant on a one-to-one basis, but open discussion in a group. Now, I must admit, in my first, I want to say even 6 months, I wasn't very good at opening up in the image therapy session, and I think it's just because, again, I was lacking that confidence still, and I'm quite a quiet person anyway, as you can probably tell. You probably can't even hear me, so I did find it hard to like bring forward, but then you just get so used to it. You get used to the people in your group, and I guess you just get motivated by other people as well. Image therapy, obviously you do your, you go through what you've weighed in as, like if you've gained or lost. Just a chance to comment on how you think your week's gone and how you plan your next week to go. As well as that, it's a really good opportunity to take on other people's advice. So people will say, oh, I've not really measured my healthy extras today, this week, and I've had that £1 gain, maybe I'm gonna, you know, change things up this week and go back to measuring and be a bit more stricter with it. And then they'll come in the week later and they've got, you know, £2-3 loss, and it's all contributing, it's all motivating, it's all really inspiring to learn from each other and share recipe ideas and just share so much information. But you don't have to as well. Like, I think that can be quite overwhelming if you are a bit of an introvert. Like, you share what you want and get from the group what you want to. But if there's one thing I can advise is stay to group. Just stay to group, because throughout the whole of my journey, especially like the first 8 months, I stayed routinely to group. Maybe a handful of times that I didn't because I had something planned or something else was going on that I needed to get out of group for, but stay to group, because it's, for me, looking back, it was an hour for me to dedicate time for myself to really fix my relationship with food, And I know it sounds so deep for that, but that is exactly what it did. You know, it's giving you time to review how you look at food and how you treat food. You know, for me, food was always a celebration and almost a comfort for my emotions. But now I realise that I don't need to have food to have a good time. I don't need food to feel better about myself. So yeah, it really gave me that opportunity to grow. Not just, well, I didn't grow, I lost weight, but it just made me grow mentally, a better relationship with food. And it's fun as well, like it's nice to get to know people in the group. You do tasters, so we'll all bring in food and taste test them, and again it's just learning more, you know, different recipes to try. We'll do competitions, so Slimming World actually do competitions. Like I mentioned earlier, I got a Woman of the Year. I'll insert a little picture with my little certificate. Yeah, so it's just really nice because they're motivating. To me, getting a certificate after losing half a stone, incredible, because you feel so good about yourself, and those feelings of enjoyment that I used to get from food, I'm now getting in other ways. I'm now feeling the benefits of, I'm really connecting the benefits of losing weight with how it makes me feel. So that was incredible, yeah. I've actually, I know I said I haven't got any certificates, but I've got a couple from recent months. So I got a achievement certificate. This was because the lady that I went to didn't have a 9.5 stone award, but this was a certificate that I got. That was later followed by 10 stone, and this came with my target one. So after 50 weeks I got to target, and I didn't know I was going to do it that quick. To be honest, I didn't even focus on the time. I focused on, you know, repairing my relationship with food, repairing how I felt about myself, and just growing so much in that time that, to be honest, the last 12 months have gone so quick, so quick. It just goes to show, obviously I'm filming this now at the time of December. I joined on the 27th of November. My first weigh-in, my first week of doing Slimming World was on the 4th of December. Now that, you know, just goes to show, just because Christmas is coming doesn't mean you can't get those amazing losses and you can start your healthy lifestyle. You know, there should be enough, there's always going to be something in the way, but it's treating that not as a barrier but as something to enjoy and still lose weight and have a happy healthy lifestyle. So okay, sorry about that. My camera only records for like 30 minutes at a time and I've been chatting away. So what I was saying is I've got so many followers from so many different places of the world on my Instagram. So I've got people from like Turkey, Australia, Israel. There's so many different places that you guys come from. So I guess a burning question might be, what is Slimming World? Now, I've not done my research, but I'm going to do it now. Wait, let me find out for you. Okay, so I will update it on the screen if this is wrong when I actually come to edit the video. But as far as I'm aware, Slimming World Online, so where you can track it online and get all the advice and support online, is available worldwide. However, it might only be currently in certain places of Europe that Slimming World groups are established. Now I will check that and update it on the screen somewhere around here maybe. Slimming World is a support group mechanism, and it's all about focusing on healthier lifestyles and getting people to change their lifestyles through a support, like in a supported way. It is a I guess it's a weight loss program, even though it's not a weight loss program. So it obviously focuses on long-term weight loss and also maintenance, but also focuses quite greatly on lifestyle. So it's all about changing your lifestyle, changing the way you think, and again your relationship with food, to ultimately, you know, kickstart your healthy lifestyle journey. So I've done amazingly well with Slimming World, and I get asked quite a lot, like, how have you lost so much weight in 50 weeks? Obviously 10 stone, that's effectively half my original starting weight. So I started my first weigh-in, I weighed 19 stone and 6 pounds. I'll put on the screen like a weight conversion, because I know so many people use different metrics. I now weigh 9 stone 6. So effectively I've lost over 50% of my starting weight, which to think about is actually incredible. Like, I've lost another person, which is crazy. So mad. Anyway, I'll put all my information up about, you know, my start weight, what I am now, my height, whatever, on the screen, so you guys can have a look at that. I think, and I feel, and I know my life has changed. Like, I am a different person, and I can't thank Slimming World enough for giving me the opportunity to realise what I deserve. And I'm so grateful that, you know, within this year I've grown in confidence. I've just become such a happier person, and I now see opportunities that I would have previously that like died at the thought of doing as being like really engaging and happy, and you know, I don't see them as being frightening anymore. You know, I actually look for challenges. Like, I picked up running. Oh, I guess we should talk about exercise. Yeah, we'll talk about extra fries. Okay, exercise. So he also gets asked so many questions about exercise, and it's something that I really enjoy doing at the moment. And I, you know, throughout the latter end of my journey, I really started to enjoy and start doing a lot more. So I didn't do any exercise really for the first 6 months of my Slimming World journey. So, you know, you decide whether it's something that you want to do. I personally really wanted to understand and, you know, take home the meal plan itself. Like, I didn't want to overface myself with having to go to the gym every day and then go eat lettuce every day, you know. I really wanted to focus on one or the other, and for me, I tried doing exercise in the past and it just didn't seem to give me the results, but only because I wasn't motivated at the time to do the right things. So, you know, focusing on the meal plan and getting that down to a T before doing anything else, I think has installed in me like all of those good habits, and I've had a chance to develop those good habits before taking on even more, because there's nothing worse than taking on too much and then completely failing, rather than taking on chunks of something at a time. You know, getting that down, making it a habit, and then bringing on new things and constantly moving forward like that, in that, you know, fashion. So I guess that's what I've done, and I do recommend that as well. Obviously do what you want to do. If you want to do exercise as well, do exercise. There's so many people that I follow on Instagram that are like, yeah, I don't even exercise, and they look incredible. So, you know, it's all about calorie deficit. I'll put the equation for weight loss on the screen as well, because I think it's really important to understand. Essentially, I'm currently doing a research project on obesity for university. Anyway, that's a sidetrack, but I thought I'd mention it. And that has obviously equipped me with loads more knowledge about nutrition and the importance and benefits of adopting a healthy lifestyle. So the weight loss equation, essentially, if I can remember it correctly off the top of my head, is weight loss must equal a calorie deficit or energy deficit, because if we're putting more energy into a system than what is being used and required, then there's going to be excess energy which is just going to be stored. So hopefully that makes sense. But if I eat, no, I don't want to relate it back to food, but essentially that is just the principle of weight loss. Obviously there's loads of different factors, and if you are concerned about not losing weight even though you think you're doing you have got a healthy lifestyle, maybe you need to see a doctor or get some external support and guidance. But essentially weight loss does equal energy deficit. So if you're consuming more energy, so say if I'm eating less than, this is so confusing to say it, I'll just put the equation on the screen, hopefully you'll understand. If you want me to go into more of that, obviously I can do, just ask me and let me know down in the comments. But anyway, that is the secret to weight loss, and I think people forget that. And they I've taken up running, so about 6 months into my journey I started to run, and that wasn't me just going out and sprinting straight away. It was a process. It was a long process of me walking, and then walking, but then running some, and then running the majority, getting that walking distance down, and then obviously then starting to run, and then increasing distance from there, then maybe increasing my speed from there. And to be honest, it's still a process that I'm going through. I'm still trying to get better at it. During the winter months now, I haven't got any more like competitions booked or running events, but over the last good few months, I've competed in so many races that I never thought was going to be possible, but I've only made it possible, so don't give up if you think that you can't do stuff like that. Just book it, just go for it. And the only way for me to get better at something is if I've got something I'm working towards. So the reason I started running in the first place is because I booked the 10k cancer research run with a friend, and I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to not only get fitter myself, but raise money in the process of doing so. So yeah, just book an event. I could go into booking events, running events, all events like that, into so much more detail, and my exercise journey into so much more detail. So let me know again if that's something that you do want to see, because like I say, I can go on about it for a whole video's worth, and I'm trying to keep this back to some words. Anyway, one of the nicest things that's come out of this is obviously I've grown so much as a person, but I've been able to inspire obviously you guys on Instagram. I get so many messages about how you've decided to go to Slimming World, or you've decided to make a lifestyle change, and it makes me so happy, and it makes me so filled with joy that me sharing my journey can help and inspire so many people. But one person in particular that I know that I've inspired is my mum. So I'll put a before and after picture of my mum and I on the screen. I think she's lost, I'm not going to do it justice, she's lost over 2.5 stone with Slimming World, and it's such a nice feeling. And being able to be a part of her journey, first of all, is amazing. But I get these texts at like 6 in the morning, and my mum will text me a picture of her running route, and obviously it's got all the metrics and data on it, and it's just so nice to see what an impact I've been able to have directly, because obviously I see so many amazing people on Instagram, but to see someone and be actually a part of their journey is incredible. And I can't wait to see how far she takes it and where she goes with it. It's so nice, honestly. So just to finish up, I am a Target member, and I have now finished losing weight, and I'm actually in a maintenance program. I'm so happy with what I have achieved in the last 52 weeks, and I can't wait to see where I take this further, because this isn't the end. Although I'm at Target, I now want to really focus on becoming really strong, lean, and challenging myself even further to some more competitions in the new year. So yeah, it just goes to show what is possible. And I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of it. Head over to my Instagram if you want to see even more amazing transformational pictures. Hopefully I'll be sharing even more with you guys, so let me know exactly what it is you want to see, and I'll do my very best to come up with something great.